This tutorial will be about using this guided color theory worksheet called Creating Color Palettes. So I've already gotten the first step done, which is to create some of my favorite hues. And hues are pure colors. So right here I have my primaries, red, yellow, and blue. I also have white and black to modify them. And I just use my red, yellow, and blue to make a series of pure colors or hues. So I haven't used any black or white to modify them. So I'm just gonna make note of my favorite ones in this area. And I don't need to fill up the whole section because I wanna save some of this paint and use it when I test out different ones. Okay. So I'll just make some notes of these. And go through this process of just painting them in. I'm also gonna grab a pencil and write down how I made these colors. So here I have painted all of my favorite hues in this area. And what I have now is a little guide of how I made them. This becomes more complicated if you're using both a warm red and a cool red and a warm yellow and a cool yellow and a warm and cool blue. So if you're using a variety of primaries, which you know, as you get more comfortable with painting, I highly suggest that because you can just get a lot more variety of hue. But since I'm keeping it very simple, I just made myself a little map, you know, like more red, less medium yellow, and I did that with little arrows. So you can come up with however system you want to do because it's just for you. So then we have some different varieties. We have chroma. So this is adding gray or a complementary color, and then adding white or black. So I have chroma and value. So I created a gray to try mixing. What I find is warm colors look best when you mix the complement with them. Cool colors look best when you mix gray with them because gray is already a bit cool. So I'll show you what I mean. So the opposite of orange is blue. So if I want to darken this orange a little bit that I created, what I can do is put a little bit down. And if you want, you can mix with a palette knife onto a flat surface. That's typically a good way to work with paint, acrylic paint, but I'm just using my little palette today. But feel free, if you have like a flat surface and a palette knife to mix, you will waste less paint. I'm kind of wasting paint. So you can see how powerful that blue is. It almost turned it green. So I'm gonna try to go a little bit more delicate here. Just take maybe a bit of that and put that in there. And what I'm looking for is kind of a brown tone, just a less chromatic or more dull version of my orange. So that's how you mix with the complement. Because this is primarily orange in this one, you know, it's like a warm orange. I used a blue and I made this nice rich brown. And if you want, you can paint these like a little more in so you can kind of see what you made. And I could always add a little more orange to that. So that's kind of interesting. That's a more desaturated version of that color. And I like to hop around when I'm doing this. So I'm gonna also grab some white and do a version of this color that is pastel for fun. See what that looks like. So that would go under my value varieties. And this is all just to play. Like, you don't have to end up using these colors. It's just an exercise. It's forcing you to mix more colors than you might have if you were just going with, you know, your first idea. So some other ideas, let's say I want to darken something cool like this green, this kind of jewel toned green. What I can do is add just a little bit of, if I want to desaturate it, I can add a little bit of gray to it, kind of dull it down. Ooh, that's really pretty. I actually like this color. You can see how when you play with chroma, it really makes things darker. So I'm going to continue to do that. Okay, so I'm just wrapping up my chroma tests and my value tests. And the way I've gone about marking the next step is I actually labeled each of my hues. So I have hue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That way I can keep track of it. So this one is 3 with blue. So it's a lot of red, a little bit of yellow, plus blue. I have 2 with gray. So it's this one plus gray. And I can actually put down, this would actually be pretty smart to put down a little bit of the gray that I used. That way, when I'm remixing gray to make that color, I remember. So I'm gonna put a little gray just to see, because your gray might be lighter or darker each time you mix it, but I did kind of a light gray. I have 1 with 2 because this is like a red orange, and so its complement would be like a blue green. I have number 1 plus gray, I have number 5 plus gray, and then I have 6, which is a red, plus 2, which is a blue green. So, and then these are a little more straightforward. It's just the hue plus white or black. So I'm just finishing these up, seeing what kind of creations I can make. So you can come up with your own system. This is just guided practice. This is the kind of stuff that, you know, as you get more confidence, you can do it alone in your art journal and just come up with. But look, I've made a lot of colors that I probably won't use in my final painting, but I can start to see how they look together. Then I can come up with some possible color palettes. Right now, I'm already thinking these colors would look good. So I'm gonna keep going with this. I really like this color. So you can just start to put them together and see what you see. And I kind of remembered where I put mine on my palette, which is helping me right now kind of come up with this. I kind of like this muted palette, and then I think I'll do a pop of maybe just the actual hue for my dark tone. And so you want to have a range of light and dark tones and different saturations, hues, and intensities, but that's kind of the idea. And then you can just kind of come up with some different color palettes, and you can even think about complementary and analogous and some of the other stuff we've learned. But this is a really good way, especially when you're new to painting, to just kind of get some ideas. And so you can just kind of keep track, but have fun with this. You know, this is just a good pre-activity before you do your painting, so you can start to explore color.